All right, we're back with the Terry 650B Dynamo Hub city bike conversion. Old 80s Terry, handmade in New York, apparently by the old builder from Serrata. Went and worked in a little factory for Terry and made these things. This is part 5, I think. Part 4 was the Dynamo video from last time. I'm house sitting, so I'm not in my regular shop. I'm in my friend's backyard. Got my little folding stand I keep over here when I come over. I don't know how to use that. And I just brought some random tools and parts over. I got some mail yesterday, so I ran home and grabbed it and had to grab my tax papers anyways. Print some stuff. I've been over here working on my taxes while house sitting. So let's see what I got, and then we'll see what I need. Come on, mail. Be something cool. Ooh. Working not at home is a drag because I only brought some tools and not other tools. But this is some red anodized self-extracting crank bolts. These will screw in here and look totally dope, except for I don't think I have an 8mm wrench to install these. So they might not go in this video. I ordered some more red stuff, so there'll be another video finishing touches. This is a big bag of what's supposed to be M5 nylock nuts and are clearly M6. Why bother sending you the right thing when they just have something close enough they can just send you? I don't know. Cool, and I think I brought all the right tools. I gotta go home tomorrow anyways. Tomorrow's the last day for taxes, and it has one question from some form from last year that I forgot to bring over. I'm gonna do that and pack and ship my eBay. Ooh, these are weird. So I got these little weird Promendo. They are pedals. They are black with red clips. I thought all red pedals would be too cray-cray. They're awfully small. They're much smaller than I thought they'd be. A little smaller than standard BMXy pedals. I'm sure it'd be totally cool. They're supposed to have like 3 sealed bearings and stuff. So you just a little black, a little red. Cool. First thing I'm going to do is put this Tector lever on. So I always use a low working tension. I put these on and get them like kind of tight but not too tight. I did not do that on this one. This has fallen off twice, including when I moved it over here. I could not find it. It wasn't in the room. It wasn't around the floor. Couldn't find it out in the yard. It's probably out in the yard. But I dug through my bin and luckily it magically had the exact right brake lever. How loosey-goosey that is. Brake lever. And oh, it even comes with its own little Allen. That's so convenient for me not actually having any of my tools over here. I'd been boned if this little Allen wasn't in there. Lol. I might have a multi-tool in the car or something. And somehow I put this on upside down. Locked on. Not over tightened, just I didn't just destroy that. Just kinda locked on. These ones weren't really locked on at all. I might go dig in Lindsay's tools. It's my friend I'm house sitting for. Let's see if she's got an 8mm down in her stuff somewhere, which is not organized at all, and she doesn't own a toolbox, so doesn't want one. The real thing I'm gonna do while I'm over here is finish this brake cable and housing. So I didn't have any dark gray. So I went over to Tomcat the other day to drop off a consignment bike, the little Raleigh Mixty, and bought some dark gray cable to match the dark gray I have here. And then I had some second thoughts and thought maybe I should get some like bright chrome red or some BMXy, but I didn't want to wait. So I got the gray. We're gonna party with it. When I went home and grabbed my tax stuff the other day, I went ahead and just sort of held it up and guesstimated and cut it down to size, and took it to the old bench grinder, went boop, 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 flattened these things, pokey tooled them out, grabbed some random ferrules. I have these aluminum Jaguar ones. Seems like it might be a fun thing to do. Cool. I was gonna order some red ones. I think I did order some red ones. This bike has the 3 cable guides in the top tube. I broke this one. Not exciting. Fishing through, cable guide up into the old brake lever. Dope. Now because this one's broke, My plan is to hold it in place. I'll zip tie it on, maybe electrical tape, and maybe take a little chunk of, got some like hipster Chinelli bar tape the other day with a bunch of stuff. Or not, I might do like a little wrap of that. Also give it something to lean against when we go to Staples and lock it and stuff. I grabbed a bunch of random road brake cables, so it has the road head instead of the little barrely flat bar lever head. And it was dark, and I could not tell if these were galvanized or stainless. I think they're all stainless, but you know, I use weird used stuff, and sometimes the galvanized stuff gets in there. Sure all look stainless. Galvanized ones look a little different. I don't know, they all look good, man. Let's just try some. These are all weird random cables I got from, you know, Sunday salvage sale, stuff that some other shops or even home mechanics donated to them. So they could be short, they could be out of weird kits. Sometimes kits come a long one, a short one, and weird stuff. So I think if you saw me do the shift cable on this bike, I think I ended up trying 3 different cables before I found one that was long enough. These levers come with a little fake, like, disc brake cable guide clip. They're smaller than a disc brake cable guide. I think you're supposed to leave them on so the cables don't pop out. I factually don't think that's possible. I don't know. I never have. I also brought some little red cable tips. The one advantage of this work stand is I can get around the bike way easier to work on this side. This is great. Deviating from my normal setup, use these part needle nose pliers to pinch the little crimp on, because I realized they could, and it's kind of fun. I don't know if this is going to be my new. It's probably totally fine. It's a little tight. Oh, just move the brake pad instead of the pinch bolt, because why wouldn't you do weird stuff like that? Always roll this barrel adjuster down a little bit to make it feel a little more cool. Front is the same thing. I got a little piece of housing already cut down and trimmed up. I think I got 2 more of these matching Jaguar silver metal ferrules. You want to figure out my angles. Oh boy. Kind of loosely getting that in where I want it to go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Really hides the Dura-Ace logo on the stem though. That's a bit of a tragedy. How's everyone gonna know how cool I am? Should wait till I get all my red stuff, but I don't want to. I want to go ride this bike around, not care about how red it is. Some kids screaming over there. Probably starting a cult. Probably gonna eat somebody Lord of the Flies style. Oh, this is on all backwards. Used parts, man. Hardware's always missing, stuff's on backwards and upside down. Totally cray-cray. Why wouldn't you pull this all apart and put it all back together, Ron? You are... The dynamo wire is right in the way, and somehow I threaded that needle. Threaded this through the dynamo wire. Kids are still just chanting the same word over and over and over again. Someone's definitely getting eaten. Squeezy the brake, and they make a 3rd hand tool and a 4th hand tool and all that stuff. I used to use that stuff. Another totally stylish and matching red cable tip. Beautiful. Got the old dynamo wire just dangling there. Of course. It's easier to unplug it here, probably. I could try and make it even. I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna wrap it a million times around down here. You're safe. No barks, you barky monster. This is my bark monster. She loves to bark at everything and anything. Noki, you're not helping, bud. You even see Noki in the background there barking? Probably. Noki! Well, here's the red alloy water bottle bosses I got. Of course, I have no grease. I brought an old Velo Orange water bottle cage I got somewhere. Scout. Scout. Oh, this is too gross. I'm gonna have to tap it. Of course, ones I don't want to use, no problems. Why are alloy bottle bolts always come like 16 or 20 millimeters long? Like, bro, the bottle bolts come short. And you can't use these long ass bolts for racks or anything because they're alloy. Like, don't do that. It's gonna break. I think I did order some stainless red anodized Bottle Boss bolts, so that'll be interesting to see. I got a red dust cap for the other side. Pretty tight this time. Probably adjust them later anyways. Ooh, I did bring this Electra donut bell that I got at salvage sales last week. Let's think about putting on this guy. It could be cheesy and get a red bell, but this is kind of more fun. This Electra, I don't know. I'll think about it. Brought my keys and my lock in case I want to take a ride. I brought my blue reflective cargo net in case I want to take a ride. I did order this in red for like the third time. The first one I put on my friend Lindsay's bike. The second one I put on something else's bike. It's a blue one I can keep on the old Nothing Special Schwinn. Or the same thing, but in red, bright red, reflective stripes. It'll look real cool. Like, real cool. Oh, we can do the petals. I just threw these ones on for funsies, but the other ones came really fast. These have no wrench flats. Well, I was smart and brought my 6, and these are a 6 instead of an 8. That's great. Left, of course it is. Right. Probably, yes. Luckily it's really, really labeled for reasons. There we go. Oh, these pedals are so cheesy and horrible and modern. Oh, they really kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but I just couldn't find anything cooler. I found like one thing that was cooler, but it was way more money. Ooh, they're a lot. Oh. But here we are. Okay, shush. Never been able to trust pedals you put in with a Allen wrench. They just feel like you don't get them tight. It's weird. They cinch down the way big pedal wrenches do. I did order some red kind of locky skewery things, but they're not here yet. I do have this one last set of new old stock Velo orange ones. I'm going to go ahead and use these just because I do want to go ride this bike around. I don't want to worry about this expensive, brand new, nice 650 wheel set getting stolen. So we're going to go VO. These VO locking skewers I talk about in my videos all the time. I think they're great. They have a tamper-proof head, so you need a special Allen wrench with a hole drilled into it to fit in. There's the peg in there. There's lots of meat on here you can try and get pliers on. I've seen a lot of these with plier marks all over them, but the wheels are still on the bike. They make like some other brands, which I do not like, which are like flat and round, you can't get pliers on, and the tool's proprietary, and the tool strips out. And I've seen a lot of those stolen, and I've also got those people who never remember their tool, and I've put pliers right on and gotten them right off. And they're like 50 or 60 bucks, the new ones are 20. And I like the VO ones at the shop. I used them on everyone's bike. I try and talk all the customers into them. I stocked extras of these tools. I always have them on the bench. I'm like, you know, keep the tool on you in case you get a flat. Some other shop's dumb, doesn't have this, but I will always have it. So let's play with these. Working on the non-drive side is such a luxury. These VO ones, as I remember, are all 135 space for 135 hubs. Have a bunch of extra threads for shorter hubs. So you can do 130 real easy. You might even be able to do 126 with them. The problem is that they stick out then. So all I usually do is put an extra press to valve cap on them, or you know, if I'm thinking ahead of time it's a bike that's actually nice and I want to spend some time on, I will cut these dudes down 5 millimeters, just hack 5 extra mils of threads off. But I didn't bring tools to do that. So we're just gonna rough it up. They're aluminum, they have a little stainless face, little knurling, so they're great for grab and dropouts. Cut this rear cable way too short. So put the tool in, get your wheel all up where it goes, and tighten it. Okay, up, center, tight. Beauty. Oh boy, I really hope this fits in the front. saw the video about installing these wheels, I had to use this weird skewer because it was really skinny. A couple other ones were real tight in here. Using the brake pads as a third hand, kind of holding that tire in place. I've used Kaise wheels and I've used SP wheels many times on many builds with these VO skewers. I'm hoping these slide right in no problem, because otherwise it's going to be a problem. Yeah, no problem. Alright. This old Shimano stuff is too fat. Just too fat. Get out of here, B. Sheesh, man. So the whole wheel's just dangling from the brake pads right now. Up and straight. Pretty sure this fork's totally straight. I didn't actually check it, I don't think. But I feel like, you know, eyeballed it. It looked totally cool. Yeah, it still looks totally cool. Pew! VO'd, man. Skewered, Dan. Should I just carry this in my wallet? Do I ever go riding without my wallet? Not really. Sure, that'd be totally comfortable. Brought some dikes to trim these heads. It is good to think about these when you put them on, because cutting these makes them very sharp. So you really want to push them to the inside. You're not going to actually grab them. Brush them against your arm or hand or what have you. And also, be really careful not to cut your wire. I've definitely seen guys do it. Amateurs setting up their lights, like, get lights to work, and they realize they cut their own wire or nicked it when they're trimming the zip ties. I have not done it, but I'm sure I will someday. I'm going to run down and see if I can find an 8mm or a 1/4 inch to do these dust caps, because it would be so cool. See if she has an M5 tap, which I seriously doubt. Often, when I was building bikes, custom bikes from scratch, or anything comes back from powder coat or paint, I'd instantly face and chase everything. Face and chase the head tube, fork crown, seat tube, every single threaded boss, bottom bracket, threads, you know, everything, make sure the bike was tight. I wish I would have done that on this, because everything on this bike's been cruddy. I should have spent like this 10 minutes just to go through the whole bike. Oh. Got the bike on the ground to do some final adjustments. I couldn't find any 8mm or anything to work on the cranks, so I'll have to wait till tomorrow. I'll go home and try to remember to grab my crank tool. Maybe I'll grab the tap too, if I can remember. Well, let's check out the important stuff, like the stem and the bars. Sort of pinch it with my knee and twist till the stem looks about straight. Rack. It's about straight. The bars look awfully leaned back. I think I'm going to roll them forward. I think they're the 6, so this is the hidden bolt stem, so you got to go through the front. And then righty-tighty, so we want to go lefty-loosey a little bit, just using a wrench's leverage. Rolling those bad boys up. That looks pretty good. It's still laid back a little bit at a jaunty angle, but grips look level. If I think I roll it any more, it's going to be cray-cray. Stem shims still look good in there. I hate stem shims. Righty-tighty this. I don't want to break it. Get it snug, but not too snug. Same thing down here. Not straight. It's snug. I'm pretty sure I threw the stem cap bolt in this bag. Pretty sure. Sorry, it's bright out here. It's hard to see, and my camera just shuts off for no reason. Got this in the ground, and I'm just wiggling the brake levers so they're even. Double checking these grips are on tight enough, which they were not. I might move the thumbie at this point, but I kind of like it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else this thing needs before a test ride, and I cannot think of something. Ah, these bolts are rattling. Something's making noise. I just threw that tool over here out of the way completely. I'll never find it again. These old rack bolts. Loosey-goosey. Rattly-tattly? I don't think that's a saying, but I think maybe it should be. I know I should clean the rims first. Got fingerprints all over them. Probably gonna squeal. Not gonna. Didn't bring any rubbing alcohol over here. Lindsay probably has some somewhere, but I don't know where. Let's go see if we can burn it off. Alright, take a quick test ride. We're back. Go for a little test ride. It worked great. The brakes stop. Like as good as some mechanical disc brakes. Just fantastic. These long-range Tektros are so leveragey. Especially these levers. The only problem I had is it shifts like poop. And we gotta get to the bottom of that. Especially in the smallest gear back here, it has acted like... You ever have a friend who has a bike, and he only rides in the hardest gear and totally destroys it. But thinks the problem's the chain, so you put on a new chain, and it skips like crazy in that one worn-out gear and it's fine in every other gear. It's kind of doing that. Still think these pulleys might be too big. I think they're both touching the chain. They can't really move independently. They shouldn't be able to move independently. I don't know. Smallest gear, one click. Doesn't shift, but it's making noise. He's got too much tension. Let's try it again. So shifting up real nice, a little less tension. And it's shifting down too much. Also the shifter could be all worn out. We never did a realign this red thing once it was on. It could be a little goofy, but it looks so good. I think I need to let this limit screw out, and I definitely do not have a screwdriver. Might be the same problem I had before, where there's just not enough actual tension on the chain. It's got some V tension, but does it have enough to run that screw all the way in? Probably needs a link taken out, honestly. Had that happen once with a single speed, we'd use a singulator on it and have it tight enough. And the skipper, I didn't know why, it was just the singulator. It needed to add a little bit more chain tension. And that was it. That solved it. Because I don't ride a bike that doesn't shift perfectly. I don't do it, man. I also definitely don't have a screwdriver. Since he has like no tools, maybe he should have a screwdriver. Maybe this crappy old worn-out screwdriver can do it. Yeah, I was a total coward. Look at that. I could definitely take another link out of this chain. I think I left it in case I want to do a 34 tooth. This can come so farther forward. Alright, I'll probably bring my chain breaker. We'll take a link out, see if that helps. If not, we'll align just this dangler. We aligned the hanger, but not the dangler. Also did not like these pedals. I knew I went there so much skinnier, I just felt unsure-footed with my foot wanted to roll off. So it's okay, that's good to know. I'll most likely order some different pedals. They're ugly and I don't like them. They're red. I think if they're silver, I like them. I think they had a silver, and I was like, no, it's too ugly, it's like a darker silver. Probably look great. Oh, right, we're back. Yesterday I got this thing all test rideable, and I went and rode it 6 or 7 blocks to go get a burger and fries and ice cream. I thought I was going to go get a beer, but it turns out I wanted all the foods. It's a little darker, a little gloomier today than it was yesterday. The sun keeps coming and going. I just went home, packed my eBay, dropped off post office, finished my taxes, printed them out, because I couldn't e-file them because I couldn't find some number from last year. Dropped them off at the post office, because today's tax day, it's the last day. I was really putting it off because, you know, horrible. This bike rode great, just adding a little V tension. The shifting seemed totally good. Hopefully it stays that way. While I was at home, I did grab some more tools. I got the crank bolt tool I needed, and I got chain tools in case I want to shorten this chain, take a link out of it. Hopefully tomorrow will be nice. I have no plans for tomorrow. It's Tuesday. I'm here all day Tuesday. I'm here all day Wednesday. I'm going home Wednesday night late. So maybe I'll be able to take this bike on a real ride. You know, stuffing a little bag of groceries under this net on the front rack was super fun yesterday. Maybe I'll go to a faraway grocery store and, you know, get a snack or a beer or something. Oh. I brought the All Thrills, No Spills handle stash cup holder. That's supposed to be for like kind of a built-in springy thing a little bit. So you're not supposed to spill your non-alcoholic beverage or ride your bike around. So I might adjust any drink. Rotates 360, no tools, optimal bolts for maximum security. What? Optimal bolt for maximum security. It's got like a crappy screw into a piece of plastic and a quick release. It's very, very maximum security quick release. For bikes, scooters, golf carts, strollers, and wheelchairs. God, I'm gonna have to give this to my old stepdad. Who knows? So I got the stuff. It rode great. At the grocery store, ran into famous frame builder Ira Ryan. He's cool. I've known him since 2010 when I first became a frame builder. Did a garage sale at his shop. Some other frame builders went to, and I went and bought some stuff. I rode up there with Tony Pereira, who's like a famous frame builder. Him and Ira went on to start Breadwinner Cycles and did that for a bunch of years. And Ira just left and went back to his garage to build his own bikes, custom bikes again. Like a year or two ago. I don't know, but every time I go buy some frame building tools from somebody who's, you know, some amateur or small time builder who's giving it up, Ira had just been there and just bought like the one thing I was really looking for. So he's back and he's doing cool stuff. So that was really fun to say hi to him. I haven't talked to him in a few years, other than, you know, liking all of his posts on Instagram, because he's a super cool guy and like a really strong bike rider, like really strong, like wins all these amateur and semi-pro events and maybe some pro events. So the opposite of me, who only rides at the grocery store. But I wanted a really nice bike for at the grocery store. And this was a real fun, nice bike for ride to the grocery store. I liked it. Ira thought it was cool. He immediately noticed the 7400 Dure stuff. And clearly he has a big affinity for it. He probably really got into racing on that stuff. And he saw there was an old Terry and he was all excited about that. He's like, oh, this is a nice bike. I'm like, yeah man, handmade in New York. So that was super fun. And let's do these cranks. Let's do this handle stash. I mean, let's go test ride it, buy a beer, and see how much of it we can spill. I've seen and I have not bought. I'm thinking about doing it for you guys and for me and for the videos, and because it's ridiculous. They make like a ridiculous chest strap. It's like a reverse bra, but it holds your cell phone instead. I wonder if something like that would be awesome for bike riding videos, so I could just like aim it down at the handle stash and watch it go plump. But what I'll do instead is ride one-handed all sketchily, not pay attention to the road, and swerving in and out of cars. But I'm gonna do that. I did put the old pedals back on because the new ones were too skinny. They were, not the full mountain width. They're like a narrower road version. I got big, fat, double-wide feet, and I just don't like having half my foot hang off the pedal. It doesn't make me feel secure. It doesn't make me want to ride fast and have fun. But let's change out these crank bolts. So anytime you use aluminum bolts or tie crank bolts or even like vintage French or campy stuff, take a modern crappy bolt and use that to press your crank in. I have snapped vintage French stuff. I know guys that snap tie. You definitely will snap aluminum to try and press a crank on with it. They do make aluminum red bolts for this, and I thought about it, but that's too nutty even for me. I really like the look of these self-extracting bolts, but I hate the idea that they're self-extracting, so any tweaker can come by and, with an 8mm and pop them right off. But most people don't carry 8mm, one, and two, no tweakers ever come by and remove the part from my bike. I've known a few people have their dynamo lights stolen, pumps, water bottles, sometimes if you have stuff in your seat bag, but really, tweakers are trying to steal your whole bike or leaving it alone. So I'm gonna cross my fingers on this one. Ugh. And everyone likes to comment that I need to put a rag over the chainring when I do this or whatever. Yeah, not a bad idea. Yes, I punched a chainring once or twice. I've also removed I've removed clearly 10,000 cranks over the last 15 years of working on bikes, mostly full-time. I'm not too worried about it. I'm being careful-ish. And that's better than a lot of people in a lot of ways. Alright, that bolt is off. I'm gonna open this bag of $10 on eBay bolts. They're multiple part. So you want to do this, you need like the pretty basic normal M8 crank bolt. These have a little black plastic thing on them. A little like nylon-y washer so stuff can spin and not gall. And then this is the different part. Instead of being a piece of black plastic that just sits on here, it clips on here, this is a threaded, like a dust cap. And we'll put the bolt in first, then we'll thread this dust cap in. So when you try and unpull it by just the bolt, it'll press against the dust cap, sucking the whole crank off. So you need a crank extractor. This is basically a crank extractor. Woohoo! And the crank's already pressed on, so we only have to get this in and just barely snug. I should have got a real 8 too, because this would be so much faster spinning this on with an 8. I'm pinching it with my fingers and we're trying to spin it with this crank tool. The one thing I dislike about this crank tool is how short it is. It's not really long enough to really get some leverage. The next thing I dislike about this crank tool is how long it is. It's always long enough where it hits your pedal. It's like kind of a pain to spin around if your pedals are still on. So, nailed it, Park. Okay. Tight. Little nylon-y, spinny, washery goober. Little red dusty cappy. Oh, I knew there's one other thing I wanted. I could not remember what it was. Now I'm here, I remember. I wanted my M5 tap handle, cutting oil. Oh well. Oh well, I guess we'll have to use the handle stash. So I'm threading this in by like just pinching on my fingernails. As far as it'll go. Now here are two cool tools. This is a vintage Shimano TL FC20, or I see these all the time. It says Dura-Ace on them. This is the chainring bolt side for the backside of chainring bolts. That's a little doodad. The other side is this big weird thing. I think this is for these kind of crank. A lot of Shimano, Dior XT, Dura-Ace all have these 2-bolt, just like these self-extractors. I've also got this cool old Park adjustable pin spanner with 2 little pins, and you can spin them, you can adjust them for all different size bottom brackets and things. A lot of these pin spinner tools come fixed, so you can't adjust them. And that's cool for all the common stuff, but the adjustable is cool for weird stuff and just all the time. Let's check this out. This thing is spaced exactly, perfectly, for these little bolts. Ah! Try to be careful, I don't want to scratch the red ano while installing them. Ah! See, it slips. It's probably in, it's probably tight enough. Pushing down with my thumb so it won't slip. I'll mangle them a little bit. But it's in, it's probably good. I want to see if this adjustable pin spanner would be good for this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's totally in. And even more cinchy. Look at that! Originally I was going to use red chaining bolts, but then I realized since we're on this chain ring on the outside, so I use these silver alloy single speed bolts instead. They're still kind of cool because they're light. If I move this chain ring to the inside and use like a bash guard, I will get red chain ring bolts for road double. The 6.5 instead of the 4.5 millimeters or whatever. So just like that, instantly better looking. It is a shame about those pedals. I am on the lookout. I've been checking eBay. I've been checking Temu. I think the brand I bought mine from on eBay, a different seller has them in the wider mountain version. And they have a Thai silver. I think maybe I like that better. Silver, like a dark silver, dark gray. I got the dark gray housing. You know, this has some darker gray on the Dura-Ace stuff. I think maybe those, but they only come with chrome little foot pegs. But those red pedals have red foot pegs. So if I think about getting the silver ones, swapping out the little pins, the little peg pins. So I can have the red pins on the silver pedals. It's got a little red center too. I think that'd be baller. So it'd be like another 35 bucks down the drain. But I think it'd be baller. But honestly, I like just like whatever. BMXy pedals. These are smooth and plastic and light and cheap, but you know, having the little red accents in the dark gray, I think that's what I gotta do. Alright, I'm gonna go on eBay after this. I went and packed my eBay and it only sold like 3 things this week, and like nothing was super high dollar. I was like, oh, I need to sell like 20 things a week, you know, like, oh. But then the last minute, I had some old tires some rare brand new in the package Compass tires, and I put them up, and somebody gave me 125 for them. They're like 89 plus shipping a piece retail, so 125 for the pair is a good deal. And I got them for $10 each at a swap meet last year, thinking I'd save them. The 26s I was going to save. I was like, yes, and then somebody bought some old 600 cranksets sitting around for a long time for like $50. I was like, yes. So at least I won't, you know, starve to death next week. So that was fun. My taxes done. I thought I was going to owe thousands, but as I said in my other video, I made so little and spent so much. I spent like $11,000 buying bikes and parts to sell for $34,000, and then turns out $6,000 that was shipping and $6,000 that was eBay seller fees. So it turns out I only made like way under the poverty line, and I wouldn't actually owe any taxes at all, except Oregon has a self-employed tax. So I'm selling eBay, technically I'm self-employed, of $800. So I have to owe that. But then I got like an earned income credit for being so poor. I've never qualified before. I've been real poor my whole life. I got that, so I'm only paying like $400. And somehow, through the website's insane math, the state owes me $36, which is hilarious because I sold a bunch of stuff and I gave the state zero money. Nothing's withheld from eBay. I'm gonna pay all at the end or do estimated taxes, but you know, I can afford $400 and negative $36. So that'll be funny. The state last year charged me more than I've ever paid in taxes ever out of my paycheck, and then I owed an extra $1,000 at the end of the year, which is irate. Because I always get money back at the end of the year. When I had a regular W-2 job, it was my first W-2 job in like, you know, 15 years or something. So I was always doing odd jobs in college and volunteering for like 6 years, and then started my own business right out of college and did that for 10 years. It's a little weird. No biggie. The real annoying thing is I heard there's supposed to be a big kicker this year based on last year's taxes. So maybe I'll get my $1,000 back. We'll see. Oh, the real annoying thing was, I was like, oh, the kicker's coming. So, you know, sometimes I just let that balance out. I owe them some, they say I owe them some, I actually get some back, it all balances out. Last year the opposite of that happened. They decided to go into my savings account and tell my bank to give them, you know, the $1,000 I owed them without notifying or telling me. My bank just did it without notifying or telling me. So that was a real sketchy digital dystopian age, you know, coming to grips with reality. They did the same thing with like the COVID checks. I didn't apply for them, I didn't care. I thought it was gross and stupid and evil. And then I was like, maybe I should. They're trying to give them to me anyways, whatever. And I refused to give my address. And the first COVID check, I demanded they mailed me in paper, and they screwed up my address, and it wouldn't come. And I checked in on it, and I'm like, oh, I didn't get it because like they've been sending it to an address that doesn't exist across the street. But I finally figured that out and called them, got the real address, and sent me the check. But the same thing, I said, no, send me a paper check. Do not direct deposit. I don't want to have my bank account information. The second one came out, they immediately direct deposited. I've never given the government my bank account info. I've never checked any box saying it's okay that you direct deposit or access my bank account for any reason. And they sure did just deposit that $600 check right into my bank account. I heard they just did that. They just, you know, some libertarians are all freaked out because they just had this wireless warrant app, this FISA thing, come up. And a bunch of Democrats and a bunch of Republicans all voted for it. They keep spying on us and violating the Constitution. And that's the kind of stuff, that's how they get into my bank account. Just violating our rights and thinking nothing of it. No, it's fine. You want your check. We can violate your rights for your check. It's cool. I've already been reading a bunch about how they've already done that when they're not allowed to surveil U.S. citizens. They have a deal with, like, the French foreign intelligence. Like, hey, surveil my ex-girlfriend, 'cause I'm curious, and I'll do it for your ex-girlfriend. We can violate each other's constitutional rights because I'm not the one violating your rights. This French guy is, and he's not violating his citizens' rights because I'm doing it for him. Like, it's all so gross and evil. It's all so gross and evil. And people just keep voting for Democrats and Republicans. Good job, guys. Lesser of two evils? No, neither of them is less. Two sides of the same coin. They're both driving inflation and stealing your wealth and treating you like slaves and serfs. I probably won't put any of this in the video. You never know. I might. It's tax day. You can rant about politics a little bit without saying one side's better or worse and the other side's evil or whatever. They're both evil, and anyone doesn't see that's really living in a nice bubble. It must be nice. Okay, I need some way of trimming this zip tie. Let's pop this doodad back on. This is a cool park handlebar holder tool. I don't know if I've ever talked about it. I don't know what the part number is. It's an old one I got used for a few bucks. It's cool. It is very handy if you're going to work on bikes and the front end's flopping around. What do you think? Should put it out front in the way of all my stuff, or should put it in the back a little more subtle? Oh, these bars are so riser though. I put it up really high and totally ridiculous. I'll definitely bash it with my knee. I could put it up sticking out. It's mostly out of the way of all this stuff this way. That's what I'm going to do. It'd be fun and tucky to put it in, but I will absolutely eject whatever happened here with my knee constantly. It's got a weird clamp like all the modern bro-y car stuff has. It's got rubber shims in case you need them. Will I need them? Most likely. Will it keep it from slipping? Most likely. Again, I'm not sponsored by anyone. Except for maybe Stoke Wheels, because he gave me that shirt and has always given me a discount on wheels. Eat your hearts out. This is also kind of nice because it's going to be right at my brake lever. So really, even if it does try to roll down, it's going to hit the brake lever, not be able to go too far. Or a millimeter or two. Smushy smushies. Ah! Alright. I got me a road soda. What? I haven't had anything to drink in like weeks. Look at that. Bouncy, 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 bouncy. Can you see that? Bouncy, bouncy. It's got this thing on the inside for reasons. You can cinch it up. I think that's all I was going to do today. I'm going to go take this on a test ride. The back felt squishy. Maybe need some air, but I doubt it. That light was all on working. I need to take it on a ride at night. See if this light's reasonable. Oh, I wish I would have brought that tap. But basically, this bike is done until I get home, double check the headset, and take it on a real ride, make sure the shifting still works, and I showed earlier in the video, I got some red skewer things coming. They're kind of locking. Probably get those red pedals. I definitely ordered some little red caps. Still need to see if I can find some red anodized jam nuts. I have those tubeless ones. It might be a total psycho. They have wrench flats on the side. I could maybe hold it gently somehow in my vise. Run an M6 tap through it. Could be a fun project. Tap these guys out. Put bottle ballast is on there in a bottle so I can drink waters and road sodas on the ride. I got some red stainless bolts coming, I think, which I don't really need. Maybe I'll put one here. Doesn't matter. Or replace these guys or something. Replace these guys down here. Got some red if they're longer. These guys are a little too short to get nylocks on. Big heavy racks, especially use them a lot, use big loads. I like to use way too long of a bolt and put a nylock on the backside because I've seen doing tune-ups. Every tune-up that ever came to the shop, I would take my 3-way and touch every single bolt on it. And man, rack bolts are always loose or missing. It's pretty impressive. I still got to wrap this little dude, but I didn't want to go digging for my wrappy stuff. At home today, it was total chaos with bike parts everywhere and packing stuff everywhere, everything pulled apart, trying to find my tax papers, and I dropped a big tub I have of just like a decade collection of stickers and just flew all over the floor with stickers and pins, and my house is an S show. But yeah, I think tomorrow I'll do some rides, maybe a little one right now, and I brought boxes of old bike parts here to sit in the yard and clean all day if it's remotely warm and sunny out here. The dogs are happy to be playing in this yard. This is a beautiful backyard show. Full fence. They can't get out anywhere. They can run totally free and nuts. It's little, but they're little. There's lots of different textures, bushes to sit in, and chew toys to eat. So if I can spend the day out here cleaning, and they can spend the day out here running around playing and goofing off and eating their bones, that's heaven, man. That's totally ideal. So anyways, thanks for watching this video. It's going to take me hours to get edited. Maybe I'll spend all night tonight doing that. And we might do one more final touch-up video on this. The rest of the red stuff comes in. And then it's off to another project. Hopefully I'll do a couple of flip tune-up bikes. I got like a dozen in the basement down here. Really got to get them out of the way and get things sold. Riding with the handle stash. Usually my road soda would come bouncing out of the basket and half of it would come flying out. And I get all over my hands and all of the stuff in the basket. I've had a few drops spill out, especially when it was super, super full. But really, my feet are dry, my hands dry. I'm hitting some pretty good bumps. Some I think would probably launch right out of my basket completely on some rides. And it's doing great. So overall, super impressed with the handle stash so far. I haven't hit any bumps that I would, go wrecking on, but just some little stuff. Woo! This road's actually too nice, it's sort of annoying. So thanks for watching.